Welcome back to SwitchCorner. It's time for our weekly breakdown of 10 deals under $10 or of course your local currency. This video then I've also got a winner to announce from last week's episode, and that was for a code for Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. That's going to be coming up later as we get into this list. So yeah, sit back, relax, get that credit card ready and let's get started. Now before we do get started today, two things for you. First, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family. And then two, we're moving the pricing. You'll now find it in the upper left corner to help out those who want access to the subtitles. The first game then today, we got Rogue Trooper Redux coming in with a pretty sizable 66% off. I'd be lying if I said it was a perfect experience, but I still had a ton of fun with it. And yeah, I feel like the Switch doesn't exactly have, a ton to offer in the third-person shooter realm. This one is actually based upon the comic book series by 2000 AD, those famous for Judge Dredd. It's also worth knowing as well, this is actually a remaster, hence I gotta say it may look a little dated. It actually came out originally in like 2006, so it's coming with HD graphics, new textures, new lighting, but it's still pretty obvious honestly. Fortunately though, I will say the gameplay is just all out action as you're basically a one-man army looking for a traitor general who basically put an end to your entire race. It's got a combination of gameplay mechanics though here, from all guns blazing to stealth to even some like light inventory management. It does also tout online co-op as well, but just know that when I tried it earlier today I couldn't find anyone for this wave-based mode. So next up then, 60 Parsecs, a sequel to a game called 60 Seconds that seems to go overlooked honestly, and it appears that the sequel is in for that same treatment. Well, you need no knowledge of that original game, and I'd actually suggest jumping straight into this one first. The idea is simple: you are in space, and through a few errors of your own, your spaceship is about to explode. You have 60 seconds now to run around the ship and just basically grab everything that you possibly can. So think resources, guides, and then of course crew. You'll throw this into the escape pod and get the hell out of here. Following this like quick panic introduction, this 60 seconds as you run around like an idiot grabbing at anything you can, you'll find the pace of the game very much slows down, and you'll actually be answering like a lot of questions, deciding on next steps, and then sending folks on things like away missions that can lead to a very, very dark place. It is basically a text-based adventure for the second part almost, but it has a great sense of humour, and I actually reviewed this over on the channel and I really liked it then. Now with 50% off, it's an even better deal. So breaking my own rule here, but I just want to warn everyone because I feel a lot of people are going to be tempted by these next two. But Xenon Racer is currently coming in with an 83% discount, making it seriously cheap, alongside Fee Rally 4 that's offering a sizable 80% off. These would be great deals if they were good games, but sadly they just both suffer from performance issues. Content's just not very good. It's just the whole package I'm not a fan at all. I fell for it myself, so take it from me. Fee Rally, I was a day one buyer literally because of my own nostalgia for the name. What you want to do is you take these sale prices, so in the US $9.99 and $4.99, combine them and feel a whole lot better about life by picking up WRC 8 for the Switch. I put out a top racer list on the channel and it was one of my very top picks with good reason. It's absolutely incredible. Don't come to WRC though looking for arcade racing. This one is simulation time trials with a ton of content but a steep learning curve. It is though one of the best deals I found on the eShop right now, probably the best I've seen in a long time with 70% off. My point here, basically, sometimes cheap isn't always better. I've had WRC since release and I'm still playing it to this day. If we could just get like a Formula 1 game now, that would be amazing. Okay, so Space Fans, Subdivision Infinity DX coming in with 56% off. While I would always say the best space shooter on the Switch is no doubt Everspace, this is a good one for more kind of pick up and play arcade entertainment and less on the whole, time consuming side of things. This one was an iPhone game originally, but it's one of the better ones out there as you dive into space and just basically face dogfight after dogfight. I will say it can get a little repetitive at times, but the campaign was fun as you explore this galaxy, and visually I gotta say it looks absolutely amazing. Thanks to its Apple origins though, it's very good to take on the go. Not a lot else to say about this one honestly. If you want to shoot stuff in space, you can do a whole lot of that here, and you can do a whole lot worse too. So a quick one for you now, but Silence, coming in with 75% off. If ever there was a game that was overpriced on launch, honestly, it was this one, just because it was so cheap everywhere else already. But this, it's more than a fair price for what you get. Silence, so it's a traditional point and click adventure, but I will say the controls have transitioned to the Switch really well, and it's just got a great storyline about setting out to save your sister in a world that's basically between life and death. Not a fan of point and clicks, I will say this will not persuade you otherwise, but if you are, it is one of the better ones available on the console right now. So quickly now, as I said, we had a code to give away for Mama Dora at Reverie Under the Moonlight, and our winner of the week, it's Keltaze, who commented they were getting the fantastic mutant mods, which was an insane discount honestly, and it's still available, so it's well worth a look. I think it's on sale now till the end of July, and I would strongly recommend it. Also though, Kel picked up the Mighty Duke Nukem. Incredible game, well worth the cash, even if the 50% launch discount it started with is over. Drop me an email, my contact details are in the description below, and of course, congrats again. So next up then, my pickup of the week, and I'm actually getting two this week because they were, well, insanely cheap honestly. As always, I can't recommend these, I've never actually played them, or I've played very little at least, but maybe you want to join me for the ride. The first one, it was actually a recommendation from a few of you in this community. Fuzz Crusher, Mustafa, Game Boy Greg all mentioned Anodyne, coming in with an impressive 90% off. At this price, I'm always willing to take a risk, but refuse after a little research. They are up there in the 8s and 9s out of 10. From what I can initially tell, it's basically a throwback to RPGs of yesteryear, and one of the comments actually mentioned like Zelda with an odd sense of humour, so yeah, consider me sold at that point. Rumours are though, the storyline it's a lot deeper than you may expect, taking place in your subconscious, and then supposedly the soundtrack kicks ass too. I've literally just started it, but I'm really hopeful this is going to be a great experience. My second pickup then, Rimelands Hammer of Thor, a word I always struggle to say, so not the number, but like the superhero. This one, it's not going to be for everyone, but it's a turn-based RPG with a dice element for battles. Combining those steampunk with Norse mythology sounds good to me, and I've heard really good things about this one as well, from the plot through to the depth you can actually get out of it. With 90% off though, it's an older game that's now found its way to the eShop. I think it was like iPhone originally, I think it's now come to like PC and Switch, but if the style is your thing, it may be worth a look, especially if the reviews are anything to go by, with again an average of like 8 to 9 out of 10. Alright, so there was too many comments to count last week for this one, but Cave Story Plus. Didn't mention it for two reasons last week. One, I spoke about it not too long ago, back on a sales video, and two, Nicalis had some all-time new low prices. That said, you kept on bringing it up, you kept on mentioning it, so now you get it. I can't deny it's a masterpiece, and the Switch is no doubt my favourite way to play this one. If you've never played Cave Story though, it's well worth a look. You will not find a bad word against it. The fans are extremely passionate from the comments I was getting last week, and 66% off this price, it's more than fair for what you get. This platformer shooter though, it's a Metroidvania, and it's just got a ton of content thanks to things like multiple endings. The controls are amazing too, the visual stunning pixel work, and it actually has a really good soundtrack too that never seems to get much attention, but it absolutely deserves attention because it has like this classic chiptune vibe that just fits in perfectly. Dig up some reviews of this one though, it's a must own for anyone that has a Switch, and well worth it. So the final pick of the week, and it was an easy one, and it's two games in fact that you'll probably want to bundle together, but Outlast 1 and of course Outlast 2. The first entry, you'll find yourself exploring what initially appears, let's say, to be an abandoned mental asylum that goes by the name of Mount Massive Asylum. The idea is honestly simple though, you're an idiot who decided to go into this location after a tip to like some dark happenings taking place there, and of course all hell breaks loose and you must now escape from all sorts of horrors. This release though, it also gets the Bundle of Terror extension to its name because it includes the Whistleblower DLC. It's a standalone prequel to the game that tells the tale of the individual who, tipped us off in the first place to visit this location. The original and the DLC, both absolutely terrifying honestly, well worth a look if you are a horror fan. Then we get Outlast 2, and while I would not rate it as high as the original honestly, it's still a solid horror experience, just I wouldn't say it's quite as scary. With this one though, we are introduced to a whole new cast of characters, even though it's taking place in the same world. In this one, we're now a husband and wife team, journalists again, but we're investigating Sullivan Noth and his followers. Basically, they're a terrifying cult of psychopaths who have done more than a few bad things. While it lacks, I will say, the scares the original had, this is no doubt still creepy and will still make you jump a whole lot, but taking place now in a much bigger world for you to go looking around. Both games though, for me with this one, these are some of the best graphics we've seen out of a game on the console yet. They are without a doubt absolutely stunning. And that's it, another week down. What will you be picking up? And as always, have I missed anything you would recommend? Or do you agree with any of my picks today? Let us know in the comments below. With that, a big shout out then to the patrons of the channel. It truly is honestly appreciated and really does help, the channel continue to grow. If you want to check it out for yourself, I'll be linking it in the video description below. Then if you're new here and you love the Switch as much as we all do here, hit subscribe, join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.